my good buddy Nick Battle. Yo, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on, brothers.
Man, we repping the same hat and everything, and we
I
ain't here
know.
live. Everybody that's jumping in the chat, you guys know what the deal is. When we take attendance, you take it by hitting that like button, showing us some love, showing us some support on the channel, and not just supporting us, but since we have a fellow YouTuber here, please subscribe to Nino's Corner on YouTube. He makes phenomenal content. We're actually going to start off here, Nino, if you don't mind, just with the new series that you have going on. But before we get started with that, I have one other announcement. Shout out to our sponsor, BUSR, BUSR.com, the official sports book, the official sponsor, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. If you guys, we have a special promo going on. So as all of you know, and a lot of y'all been hitting it up, BUSR.com/Fanatic. I've been hitting the promo. There's another one exclusively for Fanatic Perspective subs tonight. If you guys sign up a new account at BUSR.com/Fanatic, if you sign up during this live chat tonight, you will get an additional $10, a free $10 bet from BUSR. So sign up here. They are game for it. Free $10 bet right off the bat. Use it, And by the way, there's NFL prop bets now. So if there's something ridiculous that you want to bet on, use that $10. It's on us. Now, Nino,
what's happening?
What's good, brother? We gonna get into all the drama this week. We were chit-chatting beforehand, and I told you it's like a soap opera that never ends with us. We're one of the best soap operas running. But
days of our lives.
Right? All my children, bro. So before we jump into Texas, because we're going to talk a lot of ball, we're going to be engaged with the chat. You have a very interesting high school series starting up where you're talking with high school players. Please jump into that. How'd you get started? And tell us about the new series you have coming up.
Yeah, man. So basically it is for high school kids who don't think that they have like that shine, right? So Texas is full of great talent. We got a lot of kids who like maybe play like in smaller cities, like a ARP, Texas, or like a Carthage or something like that, that doesn't get the shine, right? So, hey, if you got good film, you got good tape, man, talk to me on Twitter, go to my Twitter account and hit me up at NinosCorner. And that way I can get you guys a nice interview so that we can get the masses on you, man.
Parents, take note of that as well. We have a lot of parents that constantly hit us up saying, hey, check out my child's huddle tape. Check out this highlight. Check out this. A lot of high schools are starting to do a better job of getting tape and footage of their kids, or even at 7-on-7s and whatnot. People that may not have access to get to the 7-on-7s. You have resources like Nino on YouTube who are allocating their time to help with that. So please, like he said, reach out Nino's Corner. It is tremendous what's going on. Tran, why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like let's curb the expectations. Like some parents like step a little bit back. Like your kid may not be the best in the world. So let's not just send every single tape in.
I'll be filtering it. Hey, Trent, I'll be filtering it. But, the whole key to this, man, is to get some kids some scholarships, man. Hey, if you can get to some school, get a scholarship. If like some like Podunk, Northwestern State, Colorado, Nevada wants to give you a scholarship, and it's like the only chance that this kid can get some kind of scholarship, man, I'm all for it. But Tran is right, though. I'm going to screen the videos. If the kid ain't it, I'm probably not going to interview him, but send it to me anyway, man. I will definitely screen it.
That's awesome what you're doing, though, honestly.
Yeah, because
like you said, there's so many colleges out there that have the same scholarship offers that Texas have. And, it's free money. It's a free education. It's a great way to experience life and, move on with your career. So hats off to you on that one, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man.
Both of you guys are fathers. And as you guys notice, we started the chat at 8:05. I would like to say, first and foremost, Nino was on time. And I'm throwing Tran under the bus right now, but I'm not, because
you should.
Where I'm going with this. Listen where I'm going with this. Nino was on time today, and both you guys are fathers. First off, Nino's prompt because he's former military, so thank you for your service.
No, not former, active duty.
Active duty. I apologize. Active duty. So thank you for your service and thank you for what you're doing
man,
to protect this country, right? But you guys are both parents and you guys are both coaches. And the reason why Tran is late is because he's a coach now for his son. He's legitimately a coach. And it's been a fascinating experience watching Tran coach football. I'll say from afar, if you want to touch on that real quick, Tran.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. The main thing that we're just focused on is discipline, honestly. And our friend Brandon, who's been on this channel quite a few times, he's coaching with me, and we thought we were a lost cause, and we play our first game, and
you got BA on the sidelines?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We 21 skunked everyone, and we were all aligned, and we the other coach basically tapped out. It's like, all right, no, we're good. We're good. So he quit. He quit the last 2 minutes. It was our drive, and then he tried to pull some crap about, oh well, that kid didn't get the ball. Get the ball one time. I was like, well, let us have our drive, and we'll give him the ball right now, and we'll score another touchdown on you. So, but yeah, we got another game this weekend, and it's cool to see the kids not only interact with each other, because there's always that awkward phase with young kids, but they're all getting close together now, and they're calling each other by names, and they're high-fiving each other, going by, see you tomorrow. It's pretty awesome.
That's what's up.
Man, that's what's up, man. I'm hopefully I can join the club one day, and I know we have a lot of fathers here on the chat. And as we transition to Texas football and whatnot, obviously the big news this week, and CB is already starting now, so we don't avoid any of these discussions. But what once started as a quarterback competition has now turned into a quarterback controversy. We are in a legitimate quarterback controversy now. And it's gotten frustrating to even discuss it. It's one of those things in a controversy. When it's a competition, it's fun because you're weighing both sides, right? And the possibilities of both. But once it's a full-blown controversy, I'm not saying all Texas fans are like this. I think a lot of Texas fans, to give ourselves credit, are still team whatever quarterback is out there, team both Hudson Card and Casey Thompson. But there's a lot of people that want to be right. There's a lot of people that want to be justified in the opinion they had and get their prediction right and also win their way. So just starting off, Nino, man, you've had some time to breathe. I know you came out with a video earlier this week kind of breaking down more the analytical side of the decision to move to Casey Thompson. But just overall, man, your thoughts, brother. What's going on?
Man, so honestly, I thought Casey was going to get the job, just due to his performance in the bowl game. But, if you go back and look at that bowl game, there were a couple of throws that Casey threw that could have been picks. I think the actual DB, from their school, he actually dropped the ball, I think at the 20-yard line that could have easily been a pick six, right? So, but Casey just gets the team some more juice, man. He's very, very decisive when it comes to running the ball. Hudson was really indecisive this past game. Sark even said it himself. He was antsy. All right. So Hudson was very, very indecisive. I think Hudson could have turned some plays up just this past game that, could have brought it into maybe a 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. And he tried to, basically just kind of force the ball down the field. And, just actually 2 plays later, we're at a 3rd and 11 or so. So I think Hudson could have got some yards. He left a lot of meat in the bone. Casey's not going to do that. Casey goes through his first read, his second read. And then if it's not there, he's gone, because he knows that, hey, 5 yards is better than none. All right. Mm-hmm. So, I like what Casey did in the game. It seemed like Texas was actually on a point to where, we were going to get blown out. I mean, severely blown out. When Casey came back in, guys, it just seemed like the team got a little bit energized, and it's like they played a little bit harder. And so I don't know if that's just, Casey being a great leader, or the team just kind of, actually bonds with Casey just a little bit more. But I think everybody saw some spark in that team once Casey got in there.
Tran, by the way, Tran, before you start, you have not been on camera since the loss, and part of that is on me because I traveled and I had to do a live awkwardly in the middle of North Carolina. But
It was fantastic, by the way. I woke up to a ping from YouTube saying that you're alive.
You're like, oh, my friend made it through the wedding. Yeah. So
Good.
yeah. So I appreciate Nick's thoughts there because he did. You understand he had that issue with the turnovers. We saw in the spring game too, but it's also intangibles and leadership, and I think valid experience. But Tran, overall, man, what's your outlook on this whole thing?
On just the quarterback, quote unquote, controversy.
Whatever you want to discuss right now, because you have not been on camera since
So I haven't been on camera, but you and I have talked about this. We talked
many times,
probably about an hour or so one night, and to me, Casey, if we're touching on the quarterbacks, he was one of maybe 3 people I saw in Texas that actually had some dog in him. Honestly, I would throw B.J. Foster and Anthony Cook. I thought Anthony Cook had a phenomenal game after rewatching the game again. If we're talking about Hudson Card, the way I described him to Ngati and my friend Brandon was, I've actually seen this from opponents' quarterbacks. I saw it at Brock Purdy when he first came to DKR. I saw it with JT Daniels. They both were shook in that type of environment. Yeah, he's never seen an environment like that. Even in high school, I know he played in Lake Travis and Texas camp, but there was nothing to get him prepared for that. And the coaches didn't do him any favors either, because they were trying to put, even in Sark's press conference, he was talking about, there's the old rivalry, but when it comes to lights, we just have to execute. And no, I mean, it's a little bit different. They have vitriol for us. They wanted us that. I bet you if they could have scored 50, they would have wanted to score 50. I don't see them taking a generous knee with 2 minutes to go. I see them running the ball against us. So, they weren't prepped for that environment, and we just didn't come ready to play. Our offensive line got smacked in the face. They got pushed back, and one of the things that really pissed me off throughout the whole game was they were playing dirty, and it was the coaching staff telling them, play physical. If it's a little dirty, it's a little dirty. I mean, they hit him low. They hit Hudson Card extremely late and low 3 times, and no one did anything to that guy. Like if I'm Coach Flood, I'm telling him if you get a penalty for throwing a punch or getting kicked out of the game, you're my guy. You're not running sprints after practice. You're doing something to try to fire up the team and try to get some fight out of them. So,
hey, Dr. Janelle, thank you for the $25 super chat. Really appreciate it. It helps with the channel. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Go ahead, Trey.
No, I mean, other than that, it was just like little things that had the game flipped. I mean, I told you, I knew the game was over after the muffed punt got reversed. Man, it's like stuff like that just doesn't happen. And then they hike the ball and it hits the center's leg and it rolls on the ground for a little bit. The running back picks it up and runs it for 12 yards. Stuff like that doesn't happen. So it was just the way that we prepped for the game, which in all honesty, it's only one game. That's the way we have to look at it. It's only one game, and this is the same type of environment we're going to see on the road every single game this year. So be prepared for it. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, most definitely. And also, guys, hey man, I got to say too, Bijan worked for every yard he got. Every yard he got that game. Bijan
70 yards with that offensive line.
If that's any running back other than Bijan, that is a 30-yard game.
Uh-huh.
Bijan got an additional 39 yards probably just off of his toughness, off his vision, off of his, just straight up agility. I mean, he balled out. He got some tough yards, and he got every yard. He earned every yard that game. So I got to give Bijan some credit, man, because that dude's a star, man. Like we all know it. I think Bijan's probably the best running back in the country. And, I can't wait to see him hopefully get behind a line this year that is going to really showcase his talents, man, because he's amazing.
Are you worried about his health?
Yeah, because, it's only so many hits, he can take throughout the year, and it's like every play he got against Arkansas, there was somebody on him in the backfield immediately, 2, sometimes 3 people, and they were only bringing a 3-man front, guys, so it was like, our 5 cannot touch their 3 85% of the time of the game. And every time Bijan got the ball, it was like it was 2 people in his face. So I can't blame Bijan. I got to get a man some props for the 69 yards he got, because those are some hard fought yards, man. Those are some hard fought yards. And he did that all by himself.
Yeah, it's extremely impressive.
I think the wildest stat of that was like, I think it was 54 yards that he got was after contact.
Think about that. I mean, he only had 69 yards. So 15 yards he got prior to contact. 54 of the yards after contact. That's like 80% of his yardage, basically. So that's just straight crazy, man. That's just straight crazy.
To put that into perspective, we on the phone, and Gotti and I were talking about this. This reminded us of, remember Leonard Fournette, his last year at LSU when he played Alabama?
He got beat up.
He only got 3 yards, I think, that game.
And
it was the same exact type of him getting hit behind the line of scrimmage every single time, but he managed almost 70 yards. So
yeah.
So while we're on this point about Bijan, because we're gonna weave in and out. This is a conversation. We're just think of this, guys, for those who have not been to this channel, like a barbershop, right? We're just going back and forth and talking ball. I said Texas versus Rice preview, and I know we've already we've started talking about the quarterback. We're going to get back and forth with the quarterback. And the quarterback, I think everybody's thinking about this game and how Casey Thompson is going to be showcased. For me, I'm looking at how can we get Bijan Robinson going. And I'm not saying this needs to be the 25 touch game. That's not my point. But this needs to be like last year where it's 12 touches for $180, 2 touchdowns, and we're breaking something. We got to figure out, or he has like the first game where he had 4 catches for 75 yards and a touch. It needs to be those type of explosive performances. Nino, I'm right there with you in terms of his ability to be the best back in the country, but now you're starting to hear all the Zach Evans noise. Why? Because Zach Evans is starting to break off big-ass runs at TCU, and he tore up Cal, right? So now everybody's like, well, look at Zach, and Zach Evans is putting up the same type of yards per carry that Bijan did last year, you see? But you looked how his plays are being blocked for him. Yeah, he has scary speed, but in order to get the speed going, that person needs space, and they're giving him that space over there. I think one of the things that will help Casey Thompson just being there, and if they are really invested in quarterback run game, like I think they will, and I don't think Sark's going to show all of his hand, that by proxy helps Bijan Robinson.
Off top.
Right? And the other aspect of this is we've got to get him back involved in the passing game. We can't have another game this year where he has no catches. Got to something to get him involved, getting him isolated on linebackers, getting him running past, zone defenses on wheel routes and whatnot. Like those opportunities. I understand drop eight's tough, but we've got to generate opportunities. This coaching staff, it's paramount for our success, in my opinion.
Yeah, so definitely, man. So, so looking at Bijan just this past game, I think he had 1 target and 1 catch, right? So I thought that Sark was going to scheme him out just a little bit more, because, he is, if he didn't play running back, I think Bijan could be just as good as a player coming out the slot. I mean, he is that talented when he's running routes. And so I thought that we were going to, just have some kind of opportunity to actually scheme him to come out the backfield and catch some balls, get him on the linebacker, or so. But he only got 1 catch, I think, for 4 yards this game, which was total opposite of what he had the first game. So the first game, he was amazing, right? I mean, we threw the ball to him, I think, 4 times, 4 catches, had a touchdown. I mean, they schemed him open 2 or 3 times. So, I was very shocked at that, just to see that the coaching staff did not scheme Bijan to get some kind of catches. I think actually Roshan got 2 catches, and those were some really big catches for the team. But, Bijan is your guy. He's your guy that actually causes all the mismatches. You got to get that guy on a linebacker or a strong safety or something and force feed him the ball because he is that guy.
Yeah, going back to the scheming portion of it, I agree 100% with you. It's a mismatch for any linebacker in the nation with Bijan on him. Even with most safeties, because safeties trying to cover someone like that is really, really difficult. However, not only that, our wide receivers also need to help out.
Oh.
We're talking about getting open lanes. Those drops they can't happen again. Ball hits you in the hand, you have to catch it. You have to bring it down. So if that's the case, that means they have to start respecting our passing game, and that's when the lanes start opening up for our run game as well. So it's a lot of Sark's offense is predicated on winning on first and second down, and that's what we need to do.
So this comment here gives me an opportunity to give my weekly PSA. Because I agree and I disagree with this, right? Like I know you're not really, I know you're talking about the people that are calling for Sark's head and all this type of stuff, or already saying that we should have hired Urban Meyer and whatever. I know you're not necessarily referring to this, but let's take this opportunity to say it is healthy to talk about things, especially coming off a blowout loss where the team was not well coached, was not prepared. It is okay to critique people at their job. It is okay to critique players. We were talking about it earlier with the high school level. Being honest with these kids, being honest with these brothers. We don't call people out or cherry pick people. Even everybody that's blaming Hudson Card for the whole thing. He's 19 years old. Mm-hmm. He's developing. If we want him to be the quarterback of our future, we have to root for him and lift these kids up. But we also have to be honest in saying, hey, he was ineffective. Okay? He didn't have a good game. Offensive line, ineffective. Offensive line was really, really, really ineffective, right? So, but when we're talking about building out this staff and Logan here saying, well, the coaching, they've won a natty recently. You know what other staff won a natty?
The one before them.
The one before them.
On the Alabama staff.
You know the other person that had a Frank Boyles Award as the hot offensive coordinator and was mastermind on the cover of Texas football? Come on now. Yeah. Come on now. And I'm not saying blow up Sark. I'm just saying in terms of the Arkansas game and what we're seeing, we have to address these things. We have to be real. You're not going to come on this channel and think I'm going to blow smoke up the team's ass with pom-poms. It's not going to happen.
No, you got to be honest with yourselves, man. So, I think what Texas fans, most of us have not been good at doing is being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Right. So, we are Texas. We understand that, hey, we are the richest program in the country. We got all the money, but hey, we got to translate that money to some wins, man. So, we can throw all the smoke out there and say how much money we make. And yes, we run the Big 12 by saying not by wins, because that's OU. Hey, Texas fans, if we hate to hear that, it's the truth. We just got to get better. OU owns this conference. We might make the most money in this conference and we might kind of hold the most weight. However, they have won 6 straight Big 12 championships, right? So when it comes to football, this is their conference. It is what it is, and I'm a Texas grad, guys, so don't think I'm dissing us. I went there 01 to 05. I was the football players RA. I know all those guys. I have personal relationships with the football players. We talk, so I get this. I was there during the golden era, right? So all those guys are my residents. So I know what it took for them to actually win, because I'm an Air Force guy, right? So I was going to PT in the morning at 4:35 in the morning, and they were up with me going to practice. I was driving these kids to practice for 7-on-7s, and I just hope that kind of stuff is still going on now at Texas. I don't know if it is or not, but I know when I was there, I was driving to Robert Timmons and those guys to practice with VY and having 7-on-7s daily. And that team was ran by the players. And that's when you knew you had something special. And I just hope that whoever leads Texas, whether it's Casey, whether it's Hudson, that they have enough umph in them to where the guys want to follow him and that the guys want to make Texas better. Just like VY wanted to make Texas better then. Kodak's did the same thing coming up. We had like the Michael Griffins, the Roy Williams, the Terrell Browns. We had the who's who of NFL players here, and they made themselves better. Mac was the CEO, but the players coached his team, guys. And that's what Texas is missing now, I think, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It is what it is. So.
Well said. Trent, your brother was part of that group too, man, back in the day.
Yeah, he wasn't one of those players, though.
No. Shout out Jason. I hope you're listening. Hey, Jason.
Hey, we know what's up. No, but yeah, he definitely talked about that. He talked about they also had a competitive respect for each side of the ball. So it was definitely clicky, but like VY would always be chirping on the sidelines to the defensive practice, and it's just them going back and forth. So it was not only a competitive environment, but it was a fun environment. So people wanted to be around that. So no, I mean, I just I don't see that leader that you're talking about. I want Overshone to be that leader. I really want Colburn to be that leader, and that's the thing that we talked about preseason was. I just want Colburn to get mad. Like if he gets mad, someone gets hurt type of thing.
Yeah, him and Collins got to get mad. I want Collins to get mad because he has the physical stature to be a freaking beast, And Tim Crowder told me, Tim said, if Alfred Collins ever decides to get mad and want to pummel somebody 24/7, he's going to cause hell for anybody he lines up against. He has that kind of talent, and people can say what they want to about Tim. Tim's Tim, right? But Tim knows football and say what it is. This dude played 5 years in the league. He trains all the players that play in the league, that played at Texas. They come train with him in the summer times. And, he helped train Collins as well during the summers as well. And he always says, hey, if that kid gets any ounce of just mean streaking or some dog, some nastiness in him, it's a wrap. And we need guys that can have that moxie about him, man. Like I remember Tran, back in the day, that defensive line we had where you had a Roderick Wright who was just nasty. You had a Larry Dibbles who didn't go to the league, but anybody that knows Texas football knows Big Dibs. Big Dibs was a nasty guy. Yeah. He's one of those guys you did not want to mess with. He was going to slam you on the ground. Marcus Tubbs, Big Tubbs. Yep. You had Mike Williams, who was a freak of nature on the defense side. Not Mike Williams, the offensive lineman. We had another Mike Williams back in the day, for anybody who knows football, who was a physical freak. I mean, he played all up and down that defensive line. You had Tim Crowder. You had the Franco Cams.
I was about to say Frankie O.
Dude, you had some legit got Brian Robinson. I mean, we had guys that were just nasty. They were dogs, and we are missing that right now. We are missing that nasty attitude that's, like you said, when somebody hit Hudson Card late, 78, 70, 65, they all should have been body slamming this guy. Don't touch my quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You would never see anybody touch VY and not see Casey Studdard not getting that face, or Justin Blaylock or Jay Scott. It wasn't going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I know.
Yeah, man, we need some nastiness in them. And that's something that I don't think can be taught. Yeah, I think that's something you have or you don't. And I don't know if that was a problem with Texas with the recruiting process, going out and getting those dogs, because I'm not saying that we don't have any dogs, but sometimes it seems like our dogs are chained up right now. Take the chain off them pit bulls, let them go.
I agree. And you gotta, it's weird because I feel like we've been coached to be the good guys. We've been coached to, turn the other cheek and play the game the right way and all this other stuff. Again, this is just speculative, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, like you said, you got to let dudes off the chain. I see guys on film in their huddle tape when they come out of high school and they're ragdolling people and they're throwing people and they're
high school kids.
Right. And it is. But there's certain, like BJ Foster is playing the same way he did for better or for worse, because everybody still hates that he leads with his shoulder. But every time he's coming in to hit, he has bad intentions.
Damage.
He's trying to hurt somebody.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like I love it. Yeah, then honestly, I would wish that he would wrap up more, but damn it, at least he's trying to hurt you. He's trying to have some bad intentions. That's football. He's not trying to like kill you and get you out the game.
No, but he's trying to separate you from the football.
Yeah, he's coming to let you know I'm here and I'm gonna be here all game. And if we had honestly 11 guys on both sides of the field like that, that would be nasty. Who's that? Who's that? Victor Santiago. Yeah, I think Byron Murphy has some dog in him too. I do, but he's young.
That's the problem.
He's young.
Right. He's a rotational guy. Right?
He's a rotational guy. We need our no-kidding starters out there setting the precedence, right? So I think Carrick has some dog in him. I think he's nasty on the offensive line, but I need Christian Jones. I need him to be nasty. I need Okafor to be nasty. Majors is young, right? Angular got some dog in him too.
I thought he was the guy to bully people around, but I haven't seen it so far this young season. So that's the real disappointment in my eyes.
Up front, it's gonna need to be Junior. Jake Majors is just not strong enough now to ask that of him. He can still be a very good Big 12 center. You've seen that. They did the story about the Arkansas center who was 250 and holding his own, and now he's 310, and he can get his grown man on. That's fine. I'm not. We also have to have expectations. Like Jake Major's not gonna. That's with where he's at physically. He can't do that. Junior can. Christian Jones definitely can. Okafor should. Right. Like all these big guys, and that's where you start talking about Carrick and Hayden Connor and all these people. And Coach Flood, my message to you is this. Unfortunately, we're going to have to put technique aside. And I hate holding penalties. I hate grabby guys, all that. But damn it, I will take the guy that's holding too much and at least trying to rip people to the ground and is in there trying to be as physical as possible than what we saw on Saturday. Yeah. That's just me. And I know some people may say, no, Steve, I can't deal with bad technique. But we had a guy that got drafted in the second round who people told me had the worst technique ever. He's playing football right now, right?
And
like
starting.
As we're speaking.
And starting. And it's nasty. He was nasty here. Cosmin was nasty. Hey, I'm in the military, guys, and I always tell my troops when I'm, when I'm downrange and I'm in Afghanistan and I'm in Iraq, I always told my troops, hey, I want you to go fast, right? I would rather tell you to slow down than for me to tell you to speed up. And I think that's what this Texas team needs is guys that are going so fast that, hey, slow down, dude. Just slow down. I would rather tell you to slow down than for me to say, hey, get some speed up your ass. Come on, let's go. No, I don't need to force you to work hard. I want you to work hard. I want you to go fast and let me slow you down when it's time to slow you down. But I can't get mad at you if you're going 100% speed all the time with some nastiness. I can't get mad at you. I can only say, good job, just taming a little bit, baby. That's it.
So, Matthew, I think you're thinking about Derek Kerstetter. I thought Derek Kerstetter was the one that had the personal foul injuries or penalties last year. But Derek Kerstetter's problem was he was being stupid in those moments. He's obviously a very intelligent kid. He's one of Trans 210 people. We love the San Antonio people on this channel. But in those moments, and I think Derek Kerstetter would agree if we were interviewing him here right now, him diving at somebody's legs in the OU game way after the whistle's blown, that's just a stupid penalty, right? So there's a difference even within personal foul penalties. We know the type of personal foul penalties we're talking about versus like, hey, that was dumb and that just cost the team 15 yards. Totally different circumstances.
Very. Hey, guys, I got to tell you something too, man. What happened to the use of the tight ends? We got to look at the past two games. I think – I did the metrics here. We had one target to the tight end last game to Brewer, who dropped the ball. It was also a penalty on that play as well. And in the previous game, I think we had 3 targets to tight ends. So over 2 games, 4 targets to tight ends. 4. 4.
Do you think that's going to be opening up during conference play when Jared Wiley's back?
I hope so, man, because I think Jared Wiley is a beast. He has all the measurables. He's one of those guys that he might not be the best blocker, right? So I think we kind of see that he might not be the cleanest blocker, but he gets the job done when he has to get it done. But he's such a mismatch problem at 6'7", 250, right? He's such a mismatch problem. You put him in a slot, and it's like an exaggerated version of like LJ Humphrey, right? LJ, big kid, not the fastest guy. Let's be honest, not the fastest guy, but he can get open. He's playing on Sundays right now, right? I mean, he's playing with the Saints. He made the 53-man roster. It's his third year.
He started last game.
Yeah,
he started an NFL opener.
He started an NFL opener. Who cares about speed, right? When you can just get open. Some people aren't the fastest. Irvin wasn't the fastest. Jerry Rice wasn't the fastest. Now, I know I'm talking about some of the greats. I'm not going to compare these kids to the greats, but you don't have to be a burner to make it out there. It's all about good placement and good technique. But Jared Wiley is a mismatch problem. You just throw the ball up to him at 6'7". What 6'2" linebacker or defensive back is going to get the ball from him? Nobody. Play jump ball with the kid. Put him in the end zone. Play jump ball with him. I mean, he has all the skills. I remember him at Temple playing quarterback, and just seeing how athletic he was. And now you see him at like tight end. I think he can do some great wonders here, if he has the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I agree completely with you. And the blocking from the tight end position is just it's been lackluster since Andrew Beck left.
Since Andrew Beck, yeah.
I really want us to start splitting us out wide if they're not able to block, so we could actually spread apart the defense as well, like pull the linebackers over.
I think that's where we're headed, Tran. Because
we need to if we can't block.
In this scheme, what Sark wants to do, and this goes for most pro-style offenses, and a lot of people know this, that inline tight end has hella blocking responsibilities. Look at Rob Gronkowski. I mean, that's the high end, right? But in the run game, pulling, almost like an additional puller, all those type of things. And if they can't do those things, it's very, very difficult to run what Steve Sarkisian is trying to run. Right. And you're seeing the confusion on their faces when they're trying to ID a guy 10 yards away, and it's really hard. And they're not getting them squared up. They're not executing the block. So somebody said, "Oh, the tight ends aren't a big part of Steve Sarkisian's offense." Yes, they are. It's just that they may not be showcased as a pass catcher every single game. But trust me, the entire base of this offense is predicated on them being an essential blocking element. So if you can't do that, then you got to spread them out to Tran's point. You've got to get people. Then you got to do what Arkansas is doing. Which is getting closer to the numbers game. You put everybody out wide, and then we play football by counting. Because right now, we can't just line up and move people off the ball. And the tight ends they're not helping. So
you said that people are saying that Sark's offense doesn't utilize the tight ends?
I just saw that one of the comments. And I'm not trying to flame
Didn't his
guys,
last
I just want to
two tight ends get drafted?
Yeah, like very high too. I mean, he like second and third round picks, right? So I think So his tight ends are very well rounded. I mean, they're hell of a blockers. They're great catchers of the ball, and they can just do it all. So we've been looking for that tight end for a while. I think Andrew Beck was a hell of a blocker here in the team. Wasn't the best, catcher, but he was definitely a great blocker. He played H-back as well. He can come in the backfield, block out of the, just out of that position as well. I thought
he had some dog too.
He was nasty. He had some dog in him, man. I love some Beck, man. He played linebacker, right? And so he, Beck actually switched from linebacker to tight end, and you saw that defensive mentality where, I'm not going to wait for you to come get me. I'm going to go get you,
he would go and attack that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
He was all conference for that reason.
All conference, man. You're right. And he's playing on Sundays now. Yeah, man.
So a lot of people asking about Ja'Tavion Sanders. 100%. I mean, look, he's a fantastic prospect. And somebody, one of the brothers had to correct me on this a few weeks ago about calling him a tight end, even coming out of Denton Ryan. I was calling him a flex. He was a receiver, period. Yeah. He was a receiver. He was playing way outside. He was not blocking people. And pass rushing and all the things he was doing, he was a special defensive player. I still think he could be a special defensive player in college.
I hope so.
He wants to play offense. That's fine. I'm for whatever he wants to do. However, when you show up to campus when he shows up right before as a normal freshman, it is extremely difficult to get on the field playing a position you've never played before in your life in this offense.
And at the college level.
Because if they put him in the game, outside of when they put him in Louisiana when the game was already out of reach, if they put him in the game real time, we're almost tipping our hand like it's a passing play. Because he's not going to – there's no way they're going to trust him to get in there and go and seal the end. Like, I just – unless he gets there behind the scenes. But that takes a lot of time. Even guys that get drafted in the NFL that are tight ends, we're just now seeing T.J. Hawkinson really, really explode on the scene. Noah Fant really, really explode on the scene. It takes time. It's a difficult position to pick up.
Most definitely. Yo, Steve, I just saw a comment about the defense, man.
Let's go back to that. Jump in.
Yeah, so defense, man. I've been seeing a lot of people get the defense a lot of flack. Now, okay, I'm not going to give them a lot of love, but I'm not going to give them a lot of flack either. I do give them credit for that first half. That game could have easily been 28-0 at halftime. Defense held them to, 3 field goals? So 3 field goals and a touchdown, okay? My only knock is when Texas came down and scored that touchdown. So BJ gets their interception, perfect. Texas scores a touchdown, 16-7. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the perfect time. Defense, you got what you wanted. You made a stop. Let's go out there, stop them again. Let's go score some points. Defense gives up 4 rushes, I think 37 or 39 yards. 9.25 yards per carry on the immediate drive after Texas scores a touchdown. I thought that was that time Texas should have buckled down on the defensive line, buckled down and at least football 101. Stop the run right there. Make the guy who can't pass the ball. We made Jefferson look really good passing the ball, by the way. But a guy who can't really pass the ball, like in Jefferson, make him throw the ball. Do what Arkansas did to us. Right, Arkansas forced our hand and said, hey, Bijan's not going to beat us. Hudson Card's going to beat us. And let's see if this freshman can do it. And we didn't do that same thing. I would have loaded the box up on Arkansas, man, and just say, Jefferson, you ain't going to run on me. Smith, you're not going to run on me. You're going to have to pass the ball to beat us. And I don't trust you. And we didn't do it. We didn't stop the run on that immediate drive. We averaged 9.25 yards a carry on the drive after we scored a touchdown. And that broke the game open 23-7. I thought the game was over after that. That's my opinion.
And I know Jameson got beat on that play. Part of me thinks, and I'm really not trying to make excuses for these brothers, but part of me thinks that he got bored. Because for that period of time, things were just, and it happens.
But that could also be schemed. It could also be schemed that way too. So don't let him off the hook at all for getting bored in the middle of a pivotal moment of a game.
And when I say bored, I'm not saying that he's not like engaged. I'm saying like he's keying on the run because they're running it. They were, the numbers and everything. And so he's like, this quarterback's not going to throw the ball over my head. He hasn't done it yet. Like he hasn't, and then he does, right? So that's why that's part of being a great freaking corner is ready when called upon. Like Deion Sanders would say, I didn't see a ball for weeks. But when it came,
I picked it.
He picked it like he'd been getting picked on the entire time. So here's the thing, because the corners aren't grading well right now, according to all these, the analytics sites like PFF and whatnot. They're not grading well right now. However, my thing with them is the test will come when we start facing people that throw. That's not going to happen on Saturday with Rice. Rice, their quarterbacks physically are not capable. If they go off on us, that's just because we were completely asleep at the wheel and we got to reevaluate everything. But these guys throw.
We should not be asleep at the wheel. It doesn't matter who we're facing.
I agree with that. But my point is their test won't really come until like Tech and beyond that, because Tech's going to throw the ball and they're going to test these corners. These corners have not been. Levi Lewis had no intentions to test them. He tested the seams. But he's not throwing the ball outside. It's not going to be like when we used to play Tyler Wallace, and it's mano a mano and let's go. And you're seeing 30, go routes every other play, and you're coming back. It's like their test is coming.
It's coming.
So it's coming, and right now with the little action they've gotten, they haven't looked great. They haven't. So we've got to see them pick up on the outside. They're going to need some help with their buddies on the inside, on the front. But this thing's got to be married up better. So hopefully over time that'll come to fruition for us. Yeah,
most definitely. It's going to be interesting, man. But just getting back to the offense side of the ball right now, right? So, I'm a big guy of just explosive plays, right? So plays over 15 yards. All right. So, if you can get plays over 15 yards, it keeps the defense very honest, right? Because they got to say, oh shit, we know it. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse, guys. But hey,
you're fine.
You're
fine.
We're fine. We're way into the video.
You're fine. You're fine.
But it says basically, hey, I gotta play honest right now. All right. I can't cheat. I can't come up. As a linebacker, I can't keep my eyes in the backfield 24/7. I got to have a swivel on my head right now, right? As a cornerback, look, I can't look in the backfield 24/7. I got to look at this wide receiver, like that's right in front of me. So we got to get explosive plays, and I don't want to harp back on the quarterback situation, but Casey comes into the game, and I think he had 3 explosive plays in one quarter and one drive. So 3 plays were 15 yards or more. And for the entirety of the game prior to that, we had 1 explosive play in basically 3 quarters. So Casey came in against Colorado and he had, I think, 4 explosive plays, in the first quarter of the third quarter, right? So, those explosive plays keeps the defense honest. It opens up the lanes for the running back. It's only going to help Bijan more. It helped Casey run the ball actually in his past game. He gets those nice explosive plays. Defense stays honest. The next play he comes out, pass the ball. There's nobody open. Casey runs for 12 yards. Casey runs for 8 yards. It keeps everything honest. So, I'm very interested to see what this game is going to be like this week. I think Texas is going to blow out Rice. Let's knock on some wood, guys, first. But I think Texas is going to do that. I want to see this team come up with some fire and some grit. I think that they're going to play hard for Casey. I think they like Casey. You can tell when Casey scored that second touchdown, he kind of looked at the coaching staff and said, basically, hey man, I told you, Right. And so, I think he's going to have that same grit, hopefully this Saturday, and can hopefully carry it for the rest of the season because we need somebody with some dog in him. And Casey got dog in him. He played hard. He played hard too, man. Look,
that 4th and 5 was fantastic.
That 4th and 5. We ain't talk about 4th and 5, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
4th and 5. Yeah. We got another famous 4th and 5, right? I wouldn't call this a famous 4th and 5.
Yeah, this one didn't really. This one, yeah.
But this one, man, Casey was tough. I mean, this game was over. Everybody knew this game was over, but Casey gets that ball, man, on the 4th and 5, bootlegs out to the right side of the line. People chased him like crazy. Still able to put his shoulder down and helmet down and lunge for that touchdown to get a touchdown. That's ballsy, man. I mean, that's what we need.
That wins over a locker room.
That wins over a locker room. So hey, I'm excited to see what's going to happen on Saturday, folks. I am. I can't wait. I can't wait, man.
So going on to the super chat question.
Yeah, thank you, Mason, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna say he has this year and next year, because that's going to be Bijan's last year, and if he wastes Bijan's talent, that's going to be an issue. Now, if we lose to Rice, that's a different story, because there's going to be headhunting happening if we lose to Rice. Which I agree. I think we're going to win by it better be three possession game at least.
At least.
Make sure you guys hit that like button and blow it up here. And by the way, quick reminder, shout out to our sponsor, BUSR, the official sportsbook, the official betting partner of Fanatic Perspective. We are doing a special today. We have 168 people in here. So if you didn't hear me make the announcement before, if you sign up on busr.com/fanatic, you will get a free $10 bet right off the bat if you sign up during this live chat. So if you sign up, busr.com/fanatic, there's also a promo code there. Some NFL prop bets. Take advantage. I wanted to weigh in on the patience question too that we had up. And Mason, again, thank you for the super chat. I think with all staffs, for me, I've always been full recruiting class. And I know Charlie didn't get one, but he lost to Kansas. It is what it is. But full recruiting class. And I'm always on the side of patience because I don't like coaching turnover. I think that's bad for the kids unless somebody's just completely incompetent. And we're now on the third coaching staff in 3 years, essentially, because Tom Herman had to overhaul his entire staff after, 2019. So we're on our third essential staff. A lot of players have heard that's a third different voice.
Yeah.
And so it's slowed down their development to the point where I think some of these younger guys may be able to come in here faster and play and pick up stuff because they don't have any of the other confusion that's been put into their minds. And that's what's really sad about this whole thing. However, Steve, we fired a coach that was 7-3 and was 13 points away. And I hate saying this, from being undefeated. He also could have been 5-5. If we're being real.
Yeah, because the Tech game
could have gone either way, right?
Either way.
And I'm not saying, we should have kept Tom Herman or anything. I understand there was more, going on behind the scenes, all that type of stuff. But we've got to understand we're all both wearing all gas, no brakes hats. The coaches and poaching from Alabama and saying, hey, we're serious now. Chris Del Conte, the money going into the stadium. There's not time to wait either. And the biggest reason why you can't wait and the biggest reason why you have to win now, when I say win now, a successful season, 9-10 wins right off the bat, is because of recruiting. Because if you're not going to get the recruits and you're going to, fiddle around and go 8-4 and 7-5, then there's no way to make up the margin, to make up the difference. It's recruiting. You have to, at some point, kids, especially in the state of Texas, are going to have to see a different product. If the product is the same all year over year over year, regardless of staff, then the patience question is almost irrelevant. Sark had to have taken this job knowing that he needs to turn this around quickly because he was recruiting against Texas and using that pitch against them, right? Hey, why would you go to? Isn't that how they got the Brockemeyer twins? I mean, come on.
I don't want to hear that. Couldn't we use him this year?
Hey, Gigi, thank you for the super chat. How about running more RPO? You got to be able to block to run RPO.
Yep.
And I have a base.
It's too developing of a play.
And if you don't have, that's why I'm saying if you don't have that base, then you got to start shifting to what you guys were doing at the end of last season, more stretch, more outside zone, more just spread concepts, and let 11 be more of a playmaker. Give him a couple reads and then let him dance, because what else you got? If you can't block it straight up, because they're not going to be able to deal with Iowa State. And Iowa State's not playing well, but my point is when we face McDonald and those guys up front, it's the way that what we're seeing right now, hopefully it changes and all of a sudden our big people act like big people again. But for what we're seeing right now, we're going to have to adjust the scheme for the players.
And also, man, Steve, I think that, Casey Thompson back there, I think him being able to not be actually decisive in these games, man, and him, running the ball, like when necessary, I think it's going to make the offensive line look a little bit better than what they really are. It's going to help them out a little bit. And once they see their guy, their leader, go out there and get 5 yards from the zone, sometimes I think that gives them a little bit of juice also, because hey, everybody's not perfect, right? You're not going to make every block. You're not going to catch every ball, but if you got somebody who can kind of, just get rid of some of those mistakes a little bit sometimes, then it makes you feel a little bit better. You want to go out there and play harder the next play for that guy, because he just saved your bacon basically, right? So
negated a mistake. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So he basically just actually covered it up for you. So, we shall see. I think Casey in this offense with this offensive line is going to do, I won't say wonders, but it's going to be a lot better product on the field than what we saw here in the last game, because he's tough as nails.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing rattles Casey. Let's just keep it real. He's been in the program here since 2018. He is the son of a coach. He is the son of a former college quarterback. So he has been basically bred to play this position, right? And so he gets it. He understands it. His dad's probably telling him his whole life, hey, ain't no crying over here about that, man. Go out there, next play, get it. Next play, get it. So I think having a father who is a coach, having a father who has played in the same position that he's playing in now, at this level, I think is what has groomed him to kind of have like that you ain't better than me attitude. And I like it. I like Casey's cockiness on the sideline. I do. I love it. Casey got dog in him, and I like it.
With the way the team's playing, and because I've heard that come up, hey, he's, he can be actually a little cocky. I'll take cockiness at this point.
I love it.
I'll take it.
I love it. I want my.
You got to have the irrational confidence guy.
Yeah.
How many times have I told you that?
Hey, I like it, man. If
we also have to look at it from a standpoint, because I want to get to Mike's super chat question. Thank you for your donation, Mike. And we'll get to your question here in a second. But one of the things I want to see from Casey is when something, because we haven't seen it in the game yet. When something doesn't go his way, does he still have that same juice? When like Vince Young went through moments where he came out, was a stud, and then teams adjusted, right? And so when people adjust for Casey Thompson, because I think he's in a perfect situation. He's playing Rice and he's playing Tech. They're both at home. We all know what's the next Truth Serum game. TCU. At TCU. We're going to Fort Worth October 2nd. That's the next Truth Serum game. That's when we get more data. These next two games, I think we all expect to do what we should do at DKR.
I don't know. So I expect us to do against Rice. I'm not doing anything against Tech. Last time we played Tech at home.
I agree. Well, that was a weird game too. That was the game where my face ended up on the jumbotron.
Oh yeah. That was we were. I think we went down 14-0, and then all of a sudden we just blew open the game. Right.
The Jet Duffy game. Yeah. It was going all over the place. Jeez,
yeah. Man. I can't count nothing as a sure thing right now for this team. I'm not going to count nothing as a sure thing besides Rice. Kansas, maybe Kansas State, because their quarterback's gone. I mean, he's gone.
Skylar Thompson's gone again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's gone.
They said he might come back before the end of the season, but
he tore his knee up, man. On a
non-contact
play.
And we know how they ended up once he's their lifeblood. They're completely.
Yeah, well, Deuce Vaughn is fantastic. He's all
nice.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's a two-headed monster.
Deuce was getting yards even when they were getting blown out. Like that, like if they don't have now, maybe they've made strides with Will Howard or whoever else they got over there, but it looked brutal when they lost Skylar.
Just get it to 22. Just get it to it.
But I want to see how Casey responds when he's tested or when he faces adversity.
I agree with you. One thing I'm very interested at is because he is a patient quarterback, actually, since he's, like you said, he's getting his 401k from Texas for being a part of the team for so long. But what I like about him is the way it's going to make the offensive line better is he's going to extend drives by hey, he's got to pull it down and he's going to get 4 yards, 5 yards, keep moving the chains. That's when defensive lines get tired, is when you're when you're constantly making those big plays or those little chunk plays. And if we keep on driving the ball, we're good to go with them. So
excuse me, Tran. We have to. Nino and I have some business to take care of here.
I'm not laughing at you, Tran.
The menace,
super chat.
No, you good.
The menace himself, Chris Griffin has shown up. For those of you who don't know, he is the lesser half of the Horns Down podcast, and this brother had the nerve to make a video on Twitter. For those who haven't seen it, it's on both my Twitter and Nino's Twitter, because Chris made sure he tagged the hell out of us on there. And Chris went out of his way to hire a narrator to do a voiceover and proceeded to make this elaborate video mocking us and our defeat at Arkansas.
Yeah.
And you know why he did that? Because he hates Texas more than he loves his own damn school, OU. And so shout out to Mr. Chris. You know, we're going to get you back. And we're going to have some very interesting conversations. We might have to do some sort of roundtable with Chris OU week, Nino, to really get this brother up out of here, because he is spending way too much time.
Hey, you know what though, Steven? I think this Arkansas game might have been what Chris doesn't want, because now you know, it has forced us to put in the guy who a lot of Texas fans have kind of wanted to start anyway, you know, and we have a guy who can now extend drives. This might be OU's worst nightmare. This might be your worst nightmare, Chris. You know, so we shall see. I told you Texas won the Big 12 the first year. Now we're leaving this year. We're going to win it this year. We're going to close it down. All right. We set it up good. We won it. We're going to leave and win it this year too. I told you.
Bookend it.
Sticking to it.
We're going to bookend the conference.
I don't care what you did in between. I don't give a damn.
Here's the thing too. Like we're so used to disappointment that we pick up the phone. Like we'll tolerate anything. I just want to make sure that Chris's phone is working and on after October 9th. I just want to make sure. That's all. Like, you know, because you're putting so much energy, I'd hate for you to be disappointed and let down by the team you hate so very much. Because I will say this, gentlemen, the one team that Texas actually brings that juice on a consistent basis is OU. When they go to Dallas, that's the team that, for whatever, like the way other people come at us, that's the team that we actually always, and I'm not saying we always win. We don't always execute, but we always have juice when we play them, at least recently. So I just want to make sure Chris's phone is on, you know, well, TBD. Hey, by the way, Chris, your co-host, I saved that tweet from your co-host, the wonderful Seth Oliveras, who said he's worried about Nebraska. He said something he feels.
I saw that.
You saw that from Seth.
I
right?
saw that. I'm like, come on, Seth.
He put that energy out there. He was like, something about this Nebraska game makes me feel so uneasy. Well, what the hell are you worried about Nebraska for, bro?
They got beat by Illinois, right? Illinois. But let's be honest. I mean, you look at Tulane, they took OU to the last couple minutes, but we ain't gonna talk about that, Chris.
Hey, you know.
But a win's a win, Chris. I give you that. A win's a win. A win's a win. that mean green, fighting green.
These guys, green that wave. Chris has a mouth on him, man. He's a menace.
Chris, you my dude, though, man.
All right, let's get back to business. We've allowed him to sidetrack us enough. And if you're in here with 178, I don't know how many likes we have, but we don't have enough, so hit that like button. We appreciate you. Nino, you cool to go another 10 minutes or so?
Man, let's do it, man.
Hour, Mark.
Let's do it.
All right, Tran, you good?
Yeah, man. Kids are asleep. We're good.
Kids are asleep.
We're good.
My kids are asleep too. I'm good.
Oh man. Chris said Barry Odom. So this is something I'm not going to address what you just said, Chris, because you've gotten enough attention. However, I do want to address the Barry Odom point. Because I love you, Chris, but you got enough attention. You got to, bug out. We'll see you during OU week. You'll have, we'll boost your followers up. Don't worry. But Barry Odom, he does bring up a good point, because Barry Odom, Tran and I, we lobbied for Barry for a while. Mm-hmm. And, we ended up going with Chris Ash. But one of the reasons I lobbied for Barry Odom is because of all the turnover we've had with these coaching staffs. Barry Odom runs a hybrid defense. So he'll have 4 down linemen. He'll have 3 down linemen. He'll do what Iowa State does, 3 down, drop 8, and then he'll go aggressive and do what Todd Orlando is doing, or what Chris, like, he runs everything. And so I felt like a coach like that figures that just gets his stuff installed so quickly, we had the parts to do both. and to make people feel confident doing both. Similar to what the New England Patriots do. They're very hybrid as well. And they always have been. I'm curious if Pete Kwiatkowski can adapt and shift, and maybe that's with the help of Jeff Choate as well. But I'm curious to see how they can adapt some of those things, because Barry Odom, he's done a good job in year 2 at Arkansas of utilizing his personnel, and I was very impressed. Texas aside, I was very, very impressed with how he had his guys playing and flying around over there.
Well, honestly, I really love him as defensive coordinator, but he didn't do anything special against us, honestly. They just played sound defense, and they were more physical at the point of attack. That's what they were. I mean, they were beating us with rushing 3 guys. So, and if you could drop 8 and still get pressure on the quarterback, I mean, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, is that you or is that us?
Yeah,
that's. I don't even want to say that again, Trent. I mean, just think about rushing 3 and getting to the quarterback. I mean, we had 5 linemen and a tight end a lot of times, and man, some of those plays. You see some of those plays, guys, where they had 4 offensive linemen on 1 guy. You know, it's just like, really, like, I don't know. You know, let me take a sip of my.
But no, he has a great mind. I don't know how much he's going to help out his brother. I don't think he really needs to help out his brother, because Coach Grinch has really owned Texas as of late, honestly. So, I mean, I think they're going to go in there pretty confident going against, especially this offensive line, if we haven't improved in 3 games. What is it, 3 games from now?
I think any team that's playing us right now, looking at
4
our
games
line, is going to be looking their props. You know, let's keep it real. You know, even a little bit of Louisiana, they were getting some pressure up the line. You
Hudson
know,
Card was pressured in that game, 13 of his 26 dropbacks, I believe, in the Louisiana game.
So just think about that for a minute. You know, like, that's Louisiana. They do not have the caliber of athletes that we recruit. And, you know, for people to say that we don't have the athletes, you got to look, man. Denzel Okafor was recruited by everybody in the country. You know, so was Stringer Anglau. I don't think Jake Majors was. I don't think Kerster was. But, you know, Christian Jones, he was recruited heavily, you know, by a lot of folks.
Even their backups, Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson.
Isaiah Hookfin.
Oh, yeah.
Hookfin.
Hookfin
battling.
I don't know where he's gone. I mean,
dude,
I saw him on the sidelines, but
he is so athletic for a big guy. You know, and you're just wondering, can he put it all together? You know, and you know, why isn't he getting to run? I think Carrick should definitely get to run because he has dog in him. But where's Tyler Johnson? I mean, Tyler Johnson was one of the highly, you know, touted linemen here, you know, basically in the country. You know, was it 2 years ago? So, you know, where's he at? So they can't be any worse than what we're playing with on the line right now. So I'm not saying that these guys are horrible, but we got to have some juice in that line. And when you got these guys that are top 100 guys like in Tyler Johnson, so these guys should be at a point right now where they are developed enough going into their 3rd year where they should be getting some run. You know, that's just my opinion. So
I couldn't agree more, man. Where are these guys? And here's the thing, too. That's why I said in the video I made initially about Casey Thompson, I said that Sark was doing 2 truths and a lie, because I think he told the truth about the quarterback thing. I think he told the truth about just overall, like, hey, you know, accountability across the board. The lie, though, that lie came with the offensive line where he's like, oh, they need more time, blah, blah, blah. No, I think he was buying time for the week because they don't know who's going to start. Yeah. I have a hard time believing that the only person that can get benched out of all of that is Hudson Card come Saturday. I have a hard time believing that. I just don't think that you can – I think he needed every single rep. Kyle Flood, they need every single rep to figure out what that new lineup's going to be or experiment with some other people. Because, I mean, you cannot trot the same exact group back out there. They have not earned that. And I'm sure that there's some other guys who are close – or, you know, somebody that you may have looked at as a swing tackle or whatever. Well, let's see him. Andre Carrick, if we're talking about Casey Thompson, how he finished the season, look how Carrick finished the season last year. Let's see him in there.
Dog. He's a dog.
See him in there.
He's nasty. He's a dog, man. He reminds me of Samuel Cosme. I mean, he does. He has that same body frame. He plays to the whistle, sometimes after the whistle. I love it. You know, you want your offensive lineman to be nasty. Your offensive lineman and defensive lineman should be a little bit crazy. And when Texas was at their best, we had crazy offensive linemen and crazy defensive linemen that just disrupted everything and made it so much easier for Colt, made it so much easier for Vince, you know, made it so much easier for the guys like Aaron Harris back in the day to clean up everything because you had those big boys in front of you, you know, so that's what you need. But we got to start getting those guys. And I think Texas is finally starting to recruit on a defensive line that way. You know, like Bo Davis and team are definitely getting it with.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're cleaning up right now.
They're cleaning up Bledsoe and Tapp and Aaron Bryant and Chris Ross and who's like the last guy they got. They got I can't think of the guy's name. Yeah, you know, but they got a ton of guys who are nasty guys, man. And that's what we need, man. Yeah. Who's that? Randy? Yeah, Randy Stutter. Yeah, Carrick is nasty. Yeah, he's definitely nasty, man.
Yeah, it blows my mind because Carrick is a Kyle Flood type of offensive lineman. That's what that kind of shocked me when I saw the depth chart on it. He wants that, especially coming from the SEC. You want those big offensive line people who pancake people left and right and then keep them down. You know, yeah. So we'll see. I just wonder if him pulling or him getting up to the second level is holding him back on playing time.
Yeah.
And we've been giving Kyle Flood the benefit of the doubt. And I mean, at least myself personally, I will continue to do so because I've seen what he's done. But sometimes when you get in a new environment, and that's why I said in the last video too, these guys, him, Banks, Milwee, Sark, you guys are outside the Bama bubble now. So you can't, I feel like one of the reasons why Bama is so successful no matter what is when you have the top and the creme de la creme of talent, no matter what scheme you're running, it looks good. Look at them right now. And I know Nick Saban, he feels like they're in for Fright Night at Florida this week. We'll see if he's
they're going to run through Florida.
That's what he always does. He's like, oh, we've only played 3 good quarters of football, blah, blah, blah. You know how he does. But whether it's Mike Locksley, Brian Dable, Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, they've all had different nuances within what they wanted to do. But when it's basically you get to see your own whatever your system is with the best talent possible. But what is your system when you really do have to coach people up? When you really, really do got to develop and find people that fit, but they may not be the perfect football player. So Kyle's got to adjust to that. Like he did at Rutgers. If he could get Ray Rice all them damn yards at Rutgers, he can do that here. I'm not selling on Kyle Flood by any means. But I do think it takes a little bit to get over that Bama physique and be like, hey, maybe just because you're 6'6", 320 doesn't mean that you're the same 6'6", 320 guy I had at Bama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I need traits more than just size. So hopefully he can make that adjustment as a coach as well. Because they're learning these players real time.
Yeah.
As a coach, you really don't know. Trey, this you're coaching now. You really don't know about a guy until you get into a game against another team. And now it's like, oh, okay, he really isn't strong.
Mine's a little bit different than theirs.
I know. I'm just trying to show you some love, man. Take your flowers.
Trying to give you flowers, Trey. You got to take flowers, man. Give them some roses while I can smell them.
I'm not taking a little ribbon. Here's your trophy. No.
It's going to be interesting, man, because most of these players on the Texas offensive line and honestly, the Texas defensive line, they were all recruited heavily by Alabama as well. They were recruited by LSU and Texas A&M, but they came here to Texas. And yes, I think Kyle Flood came here and said, oh, man, hey, I recruited that kid. I know that's I really wanted him. But you know what? It's hard to coach bad habits out of somebody who's been doing something for 4 years, because when things get hostile, it's the same thing in the military. When things get hostile, you revert back to what you know. You revert back to what is familiar with you. And for the last 4 years for some of these guys, or 3 years, they have been very, very comfortable with a certain style that has not been beneficial to them. They got to get that coached out of them. So they got punched in the mouth against Arkansas. They just got really punched in the mouth. And so once stuff got hostile, they went back to Tom Herman ball, right? They went back to Tom Herman offensive line. And it was like, oh, snaps, what do I do? Let me go back to what I've been doing instead of trusting the process. And that's going to be the break, like that's going to be like the breakout piece right there is, when did they turn over and trust Cal Flood's process? When did they, turn over and trust the process from Sark and Bo Davis, and Choate, so when did they trust that? So, it's definitely going to take some time. It's going to take some time, but it needs to get figured out real quick.
You're preaching right now. And dude, fantastic point. You nailed it. It's habits. It's habits. You nailed it. I won't even add on to that. That was phenomenal stuff you provided there, Nino. And I think hopefully that sets some people in our fan base free about why they're struggling that way. And but the thing is, it's like we don't have time.
Yeah, that was going to be my follow-up question is, you said it needs to happen fast. Do you anticipate it happening fast?
Oh, man. Do you anticipate this happening fast?
It's hard.
Fast. It has to be six games. It has to be halfway through the season. They should be, cooking with hot grease, right? They should be full up hot grease, ready for the fish to fry, right? But I do think with the quarterback change, I think it's going to help this line a lot more than what people are going to, actually realize. Casey being able to use his legs to extend plays is going to give this offensive line some more time to get those processes down. I think it's going to take up to week 5, week 6 for, basically for them just to start flowing perfectly. And I'm not going to say perfectly. Perfectly is the wrong word. Just for them to try to do something seamlessly, right? So, but it's definitely going to take half a season. But Casey, I think it's going to buy them some time where it's that could potentially save them 2 games of the process. Like his scrambling ability, his ability to tuck and run, not be scared to run, put his head down, get some yards. That's going to be able to buy them, I think, 2 games in the process. There's going to be 4 games, I think, where we're going to be no kidding, like what the hell is going on here. But by game 6, well, yeah, by game 6, they should be running hopefully more smoothly than what we've seen now. But some drastic things got to happen, right? I don't think they can try out that same line that they tried it out the first 2 games and expect that line to be seamless by game 6 or game 7. Things got to change. Things have to change, and that left side of the line was not ideal. It was not ideal, like just this last game. So, we'll see what's going to happen, but things have to change, but they should be running smoothly by week 6 once they trust the process, trust Flood. Because think about it, man. Flood has Rutgers. He got Rice all those yards. He goes to Falcons, right? And they have the number 2 offensive line in the league when he's there, right? They lose 2 offensive linemen after his first year, like just to injury. And I still think they were a top 12 offensive line by like losing their 2 top offensive linemen. Goes to Bama and then has the best offensive line in the country again. So he knows how to coach offensive linemen. That's not the problem. I think we've seen the process. It's just these guys got to understand, hey, I got some hardware. I got trophies. I got this. Trust me. We're going to make this happen.
So, Will, I do want to address your point about making excuses. I don't hear anybody. I think we're providing reasoning why they're not playing well. Some of it valid. Some of it may be excuses. There's no excuse we have for not being physical. There's no excuse for not protecting your quarterbacks when they're getting hit below the legs. There's no excuses there. We've been lighting these dudes up for the last hour and a half. We have not pulled any punches, but we're also being reasonable, right? And understanding that with offensive line at this level, you're going to have to find the right combination. We're also the ones advocating that they try to experiment. Previous offensive line coach didn't do that. He stuck with the same 5 until Sam Cosmi and Sam Cosmi left and Derek Kerstetter got hurt. So we are advocating for something different, But we also have to understand, we have to diagnose what the problems are. That's what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What we got? What are the comments here we're talking about?
Yeah, Jordan, I agree. It's not, you know, it's not excuses, just what's going on.
Yeah.
Hey, Nino, they said you're the best guest we've had on the show.
Oh man, appreciate that, man.
That is high praise. High praise,
man. I watch this show all the time. I might not watch it live, man, but I definitely, you know, like watch it. So, you know, that's some high praise. I appreciate it, man. It's one of the best shows on YouTube when it comes to Texas content. So it's definitely an honor to you know, just to grace this you know, the actual screen with you guys, man. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely. The pleasure is ours. And again, we appreciate your service.
Hey, just take your flowers. Just take your flowers.
Oh man, it's crazy, man. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to clean up, man. But you know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, man.
The thing we were just talking about this. We were just talking about this.
Right before we started the show.
No, seriously. We were talking about this in the group chat. And Homer will be on either next week or the week after. So he's
I told you to send out the bat signal.
Yeah, we did. We had to. Yeah, so I'm like, this is a lot going on here. We love you too, Will. I appreciate it. And that's the thing, right? We all have difference of opinions sometimes, but I think that's more what we need in our Texas community is for us to interact like this and work through stuff. Because sometimes y'all will change my mind. I'll feel some type of way about something, and some of y'all will provide information or say, hey, man, have you thought about this? And that's also why Tran and I, we watch so much football around the country. We're constantly trying to gauge what is everybody else dealing with. We can't be in a bubble, in our own bubble. I know some people don't have the time. I get it. But we do try to keep up with what's going on. Like our friend Brandon, who we have on the channel all the time, and Tran has his assistant coach. Is Brandon the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator? What is BA's job over there?
Help me wrangle the kids. No, we really work on alignment. It's crazy to see our product versus so far the opposition's product, because they are so discombobulated, and we're like, get lined up, get lined. And
I agree, man.
But he helps me with the offense. I focus on the defense. We had a goal line stop, by the way, which I was really proud about. I was more pumped than the kids. The kids were looking at me like I was an idiot, but I was hopping around.
That's crazy.
They're like, what do we do?
You just won the game right there.
You just won the game.
Yeah, no, there's some really good people out here. No, definitely, collabing, and we're going to continue this. We want to have Texas forums. No other teams in college football have what we have in this depth. There's some other really good college football YouTubers out there that are good in terms of the overall sport or conferences or what have you. But in terms of what we have going on as a Texas football channel. And the thing is too, like what Nino's doing, for those who missed at the beginning, having these high school players and interacting with them. The other thing I wanted to say to that point too, these folks that are reaching out to hopefully reach out to Nino to be featured and have that opportunity. Parents, players, if you want to sharpen your media skills, those of you who are interviewing skills and learning how to talk on camera, learning how to articulate yourself and promote yourself, this is a fantastic opportunity. Please, please, please take advantage of what Nino's going to be doing with these high school kids. He's already started it up, but
already got
also
one.
Think about that.
Yeah. I got 3, and all 3 kids actually got scholarships, D1. So I did Jacoby and Guillory out of LSU. He's their top defensive lineman. He's from, I think, Monroe area. I interviewed him like last year or so. Eric Reed out of Shreveport area. He's at Ole Miss right now. I got a kid, Jayden Jackson, out of Alabama. This kid, he's out of Skipperville, Alabama. This kid's a monster, man. 6'2", 275. I talk to his dad all the time. He's an unranked kid. He's been going to a few camps and been lighting everybody up. And he's gotten 16 D1 offers already.
That's awesome.
As an unranked 2023 kid. And I'm talking about big names. He hasn't even said some of the big names yet that he's gotten offers. He's kind of waiting just to space them out. But I'm talking about offers from some of the big boys. And, I won't steal his thunder on this, but some of the teams that he's already kind of said that, he's gotten offers from and he's put on, his Twitter and stuff are Mississippi State, Kentucky, who else?
SEC programs.
Yeah. D-line?
Yeah. D-line. Awesome. Who else? South Carolina gave him a scholarship offer, Michigan as well. So he's getting a bunch of offers, and I gave him his first real, like time to shine on the screen. And after that interview, 2 days later was when the coaches were able to actually contact the kids for the class, and he got 8 offers that night. And so his dad was, like excited about the video because he thinks that actually helped out, like some also. So, yeah, man. Hey, my thing is, man, look, I'm from Shreveport. A little bit of Louisiana, podunk, nothing, and I didn't.
Somebody was shouting out Shreveport in the chat.
Hey man, Shreveport, man. So I didn't really. Yeah, there it is, Ratchet City. I see it. So hey, that's what we call it, Ratchet City, man. Ratchet City. Hey, I was born and raised in Shreveport. I didn't have the opportunity to, per se, actually do the college thing like I wanted to. I was able to go to UT, but I had to get like an Air Force scholarship to go to school. If I didn't get that, I don't know what I'd be doing. But my whole thing is to make sure that kids that came out of situations like I came from have an opportunity to go to school. If you got the talent out there, I don't care if you go to podunk nowhere, go to school, get your degree and become something. And that's what I want to do. I want to help these kids get to school. And then hopefully, hey, if they do well and actually go to the league, amazing. That just like makes me feel even better. But the whole thing is to get you educated, get to school and just get you out of, just some of the situations that you're in. So yeah, hit me up, man. NinosCorner on Twitter, Instagram, everything. Just hit me up. And if you want to email me, nino@ninoscorner.com. And my website, guys, is ninoscornersports.com. Hit me up and I'm down for it all.
That's awesome.
Y'all know where to find them. This has been phenomenal and just getting to chat with you and you'll definitely be on and we'll jump on each other's platforms as especially everybody is helping each other grow, right? There's not always times where I want to feel like producing or hosting. I'll let Nino host or let Nino tap on Tran and bring them on, right? So it's important. But these kids, what you're doing for these kids, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Because I didn't realize, the influence that we had, especially starting YouTube. Trey and I were talking about this the other day. Like I didn't realize this until, I started hearing from kids behind the scenes that were like, man, I would love to play for Texas one day. And you talk about me in the video and some guys who are on the team that I've watched and been able to interact with a little bit. Right. And that are special kids. And I have some kids for you and mine right now that I'd love to put you in contact with that I think perfect. You guys can help each other. But, it's just having that environment of letting them understand, like you said, that young man being able to speak and coaches seeing that because coaches can listen to certain things and be like, he's coachable.
Man, I'll tell you what, Jayden Jackson, I love the kid, man, but his attitude on the screen, he was, he just, said, hey, I am a big goofy kid, but I love football, so I was just asking him, hey, he's a two, like he plays baseball, he plays football.
I love guys that play multiple sports.
Dude, he is really good in baseball too. But I asked him, I said, what sport do you like the most? He says, football. And I said, why? He says, I love hitting people. You don't think that rang down with coaches? You don't think coaches heard their kids and was like, this kid said he loves to hit people and he's a good kid? and he works out like crazy. He's doing old school workouts, pulling cars and flipping tree stumps over and stuff. I mean, he's doing old school workouts, so they see that, and they can see through these videos. Kids, if you're listening, they can see through these videos, man, what kind of person you are. They can see if you're 100 with everything that you're doing. They know. They can tell this by the way you talk. So, if you're up to the challenge, hit me up. We'll do an interview, and hey, get the eyes on you, man. Get the eyes on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's get into predictions before we bounce, because I know people are going to ask. Predictions. Who wants to go first?
I will. You go ahead. Go ahead, Tran.
48-17.
Ooh.
I think Casey's gonna light a fire under us, honestly, and I think our defense is gonna lock in.
I'll go next. I'll let the guest go last. I'll defer to you at the end, Nino. But I think this is a game where I think they're gonna pay attention to what Oklahoma did to Western Carolina. Like whoever said they're playing each other on pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And they put up, Lincoln looked like he was trying to score 100. He was trying to send a message. And I think this is going to be a more condensed probably game plan for obvious reasons. I mean, Rice is, they're rebuilding right now. But I think it's going to be a more condensed game plan, but this is the game plan where every play we're running are the plays we know we can execute without a shadow of a doubt. And I'm going to go with a high number. I'm going to go 52. I think they're going to break 50 points. I'm going to go 52-16. And the only reason I'm thinking about going lower on that number defensively, but I got to see more from the defensive line, because theoretically these quarterbacks turn the ball over. Rice is going to try to hold on to the football, all the type of stuff, like, and try to muck it up. But at the end of the day, Texas is at home. We saw how they looked against Louisiana. I think Hudson Card's going to have a good day. I think he's going to get in there and try to prove, hey, and put up some touchdowns. I think he'll have an opportunity to play earlier than a lot of people think. But overall, I mean, we're going to leave this game knowing nothing other than we
have another week to prep for another big challenge.
Right. But that's my score, 52-16. Go ahead, Nino.
All right. I mean, I think Casey's going to come out here and light it on fire. I think it's going to be 54-13 going into the fourth quarter. I think once the backups come in, I think Rice is going to get just one of those gimme touchdowns at the end. So I'm going to say 54-20, but I don't think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to really be about 54-13, but final score 54-20.
Hey, first thing the truth, I know I didn't get to say what's up earlier, but we did see you were sitting behind us at the Louisiana game. So it was really, really cool to get to see you in person. And look, and that's the other thing too, special teams. Like, can we break one this week? Bijan Robinson on offense. Can we break one this week? Xavier Worthy who I see him getting behind people. Can we hit on it?
Can we get him the ball? He's wide open. He's wide open.
People can't deal with that type of so let's take advantage of all these opportunities.
Can we get Jared Wiley some good reps?
Yes,
because we can't just throw him to the wolves and think that he's going to have 40 great offensive plays.
And can Dicker not miss a field goal this week?
Yeah,
consistency. But right now, I don't think we'll learn much. I mean, I think what we're looking for, like for Casey, I just want to see the same guy I've seen every single time he's been on the Texas field and how it impacts the offense. Does it open things up? But I mean, the test is coming. And how you handle that test. And that's just not the quarterbacks. That's the team. That's that's the staff. Because they did a very poor job with their adjustments in the Arkansas game as well. We haven't talked enough about that either. But we're over 130, and I appreciate everybody jumping in here. Guys, last chance, hit up busr.com/fanatic. Free $10 bets right now. If you sign up right now, put your deposit in. We got NFL promos, got NFL, all sorts of stuff. I was about to say this too before we sign off, actually. I know there's so much I want to talk to you guys about. But, I mean, it's the same thing with the Cowboys, right? Where we are, we're dealing with injuries and all this type of stuff and craziness, and how we navigate these seasons and overcoming certain things. Because you mentioned something earlier, Nino, that I want to address real quick. Thought just came back to me. How coaches fall in love with players. And you made this point about Kyle Flood and seeing guys that he recruited at Bama and getting excited about coaching them, but getting fixated on them. And I think you see this at the NFL level too, because the Cowboys have done this with Ben DiNucci. They've done this with Anthony Brown. In all seriousness, they get fixated, these pet cats. And so, one may say that happened with Hudson Card and the coaches, right? In terms of, we like this guy, but we're not really ready to open it up to this other guy who may be more ready right now. We'll see. But part of coaching is understanding your own unconscious biases that you may have, that may be present, and overcoming those things. So that's just, that's my 2 cents. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Hit up busr.com/fanatic. Nino, thank you so much.
Man, appreciate it, man.
Y'all know where to find them. As soon as you guys go over there, I promise you it's worth it. Hit the subscribe button. And go follow him on Twitter, too. He's very, very active on Twitter, extremely engaged with the fans. He answers questions. He's, his website, the entire product, the brand that you have going on, brother. We are just thankful to have you, and we're thankful to be friends with you.
Are you allowed to do like an athlete highlight of the week or something like that? Like,
yeah, I'm down for all that, man. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, most definitely.
Get those kids over to him, because I just kept thinking of my brother, how his path to Texas. He had no one helping him out, where he had to go D3 and then transfer over. Yeah.
There's a lot of kids, man, that don't get to shine on their film and things like that. So it's just a matter of, letting like the masses see them. Right. So, I got a couple kids right now who I'm looking at to actually feature. I actually got a Texas commit who wants to do a video with me. He's coming in for the 2022 class. So, I won't spoil that, but I'm going to talk to him this week, and we're going to do hopefully do a podcast episode where I can interview him. And it'll be good to see, a kid from the actual class of 22, actually have a nice little, thing with me here. But most is actually geared towards kids that don't, have offers yet, kids that don't have that shine yet. So, that's kind of going to be like my main focus.
Fantastic. Guys, go head over to Nino's channel ASAP, subscribe. Let's get them subs up. He's earned it. Tenfold.
Appreciate it,
we got to help uplift the community. So I'm gonna figure out how to get my thing. Hold on, I'm trying to get out of here.
Clip for BUSR.
Not my clip, but my my screen is acting funky here. Yeah, but while I'm trying to figure out how to hit the exit button.
Register real quick. You get a free extra $10.
I know. I'm buying time. I'm buying time for BUSR right now as we speak. There we go. But in all seriousness, as I run this, thank you. If you guys see it, people out at the games, y'all know, we always love to show love to you guys as well. And everybody that's reached out, hit us in the DMs, follow on all socials. Y'all know what's good. And remember, horns.
Always up. There you go.